Hi everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV. It's Sunday morning around just before 11 o'clock. That means it's about an hour before GG Gaming come out with their handicaps for the new week. So this is a week 14 Super Rugby projection show. I'll be having a quick recap of last week, and then we'll be having a look at my projections and also one of our other punters, Brendan O'Connell. But they're having a look at his projections ahead of the GG Gaming caps that are going to come out. The aim, of course, is to see if there's a big difference between us and the bookmakers and perhaps an indication of early value. Before you do anything else, if you're new to our videos, go down to the bottom, hit the subscribe button, and look out for other shows this week. Use It or Lose It. We'll be back on Monday at 9 o'clock. That show will go out live. We're going to be talking about filling up the stadiums. Is dropping the ticket prices the way to go? Are there other ways to bring people into the stadiums? And we'll also have a look at the box centre combination, how it stands now ahead of the Rugby World Cup. Let's get straight into the action, though, and I'm just going to quickly go through the results of last week. We started off with the Blues at home to the Hurricanes. This game, Hurricanes coming in very much on the handicap there. It was around plus 6.5, I think, Blues available. So the Hurricanes minus backers collected, but very much a form victory there for the Hurricanes. The Rebels against the Reds, that one also finishing fairly close to the handicap mark. It did look at one point as though the Rebels were going to run away with that game. The Bulls Crusaders, well, the Crusaders, they were one of my bigger bets on the weekend. I went Crusaders over 29.5 points, and they arrived with some comfort, or was it over 33.5? I can't remember. Either way, though, it did arrive fairly comfortably. The Bulls were absolutely terrible, taking penalties early in the game when you're playing against the Crusaders. Well, it's just really a waste of time. Highlanders up against Hagiohares. Hagiohares winning this game on the cap, but not quite getting that victory in New Zealand. And the Highlanders still very much in contention for the title, sitting third on the New Zealand Conference. The Chiefs against the Sharks. Well, the Sharks look like they had this one in the bag for long periods, but the Chiefs coming back with two quick tries to win the match at 29-23. Depending where you backed, you probably could have won the handicap either side. You might have got some 5.5 Chiefs, but there was also at points plus 8.5 Sharks available. Lions against the Waratahs, a very scrappy performance by the Lions. This was unfortunately our newsletter bet. We went minus 7.5 Lions. That was always in a bit of trouble, but I also backed at halftime minus 3.5 Lions. Couldn't believe it when they didn't take that penalty right close to the end, and very, very lucky, in fact, I think, not to lose this game. The Lions, I don't see them making the playoffs this season. The Brumbies up against the Sunwolves. I watched that game this morning. Never got involved from a betting perspective, but 33-0. The Sunwolves failing to score for the second time in 3 outings, having lost 52-0 to the Highlanders a couple of weeks back as well. The Brumbies defense very, very solid, and well done to the boys on the Good for the Game forum, the likes of Henrik Swatu on Sunwolves under 19.5 or 20.5 points, and those who were on the Brumbies handicap. It certainly shifted up from the 13.5 to the 16.5 mark before kickoff. Let's get straight into this week's action. I'm about to open the Good for the Game forum thread for the new week, and what I've got is I've got my handicaps written down, and I've also got forum punter Coyle. He's given me his caps as well. I can tell you a few differences between the two. It's going to be interesting to see how GG Gaming and the other bookmakers price up. I'm going Hurricanes minus 11.5 in the opener. That's against the Hagiohares at home. The Hurricanes do seem to be hitting their straps now. They had a few scrappy wins towards the start of the year. They're actually playing some pretty good rugby. I made them double-digit favorites, and in fact, Coyle not only agrees, but he reckons they'll be bigger. He's going minus 14.5 of the Hurricanes. The Rebels against the Bulls, I'm going Rebels minus 5.5 against the Bulls side that was incredibly disappointing last week. Well, they really did disappoint Coyle, because he's going minus 12.5 the Rebels. Once again, a 7-point difference there between us. So, yeah, interesting to see if the bookmakers come in between us, or if one of us has pretty much made an error with that initial handicap. The Blues up against the Chiefs. The Blues, I thought, would be very slight favorites, minus 2.5 points against the Chiefs, who would have taken something certainly from that victory against the Sharks. Brendan has them minus 5.5 favorites there. And I must maybe just double check his Blues minus 5.5. Just checking that I didn't mix his teams up there. The Reds up against the Waratahs. The Reds going down to the Rebels. I think at home they probably will start favourites against the Waratahs, but I make it minus 1.5. Coyle here going minus 3.5. Not a big difference between us there. Lions up against the Highlanders. Well, the Lions I thought were absolutely disappointing last week. I really did think they were disappointing against the Waratahs. I've made this a choice game. In other words, I think the bookmakers are going to make this a game starting off level with no real handicap. And Coyle does think that the Lions at home will start 3.5-point favourites, or that the handicap will open at about the 3.5-point mark. Stormers up against the Crusaders. Ooh, interesting one. The Crusaders were very impressive against the Bulls. I'm going plus 5.5 Stormers here, and Coyle is going plus 8.5. I suspect he might be closer to the mark. Will be interesting to see what the books come out with there. So just having a quick scan down as far as him and I go, the real big difference of opinion is on the Rebels against the Bulls game. So that's certainly one to look out for. A 3-point difference on the Blues Chiefs. Generally within 2 to 3 points of each other, but the big difference there on the Rebels Bulls. By the time this video is uploaded, it'll be just after 11 o'clock. GG Gaming have confirmed they'll be out by midday, and they will. They generally do hold their prices for a while to see where the money comes in. So interested to see what happens there. Keep an eye on the Good for the Game forum. I will put a link down below here, and subscribe to our newsletter. It's free, comes out every Friday as well. And we're going to start having some bookmaker specials coming on that as well. Guys, thanks very much for watching this handicap projection show. Let's hope we can make some money in week 14 of Super Rugby. Remember, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, use it or lose it. We will be talking about crowd attendance and, of course, our speciality rugby betting show, the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. That's Thursday night at 9, and it's preceded by GG Gaming Gone Mad at 8:30. Have a good Mother's Day for those of you out there spending time with your mothers, or you've got kids that you've had to buy presents for your wives. Hope you have a good one, and let's make some money this week.